to add to what Jim was saying about the angel trap, Dina Meyer, when she was killed, and what Tobin was saying earlier about our prosthetics people, at the end of Saw, we killed her in 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so 3, and then in the opening of 4, they discover the body, and it's hanging there. They come to the underground chamber, and it's hanging there. That entire body was fake in Saw 4. There was nothing real about it. It was all a prosthetic bone.
Just to ask a super intellectual question, did people ever throw up on set? is that the goal? The barfometer?
I think we had one in the, didn't somebody get sick on the merry-go-round? Yeah.
There was lots of gravel.
That was the most, I think, nauseating track, because they actually were spinning around and around.
But at lunch hour, it's kind of strange at lunch hour. You know, you'll be sitting across from somebody who's they'll have half their face ripped off, or behind them gone, and there'll be blood all over them. You'll just be eating lunch with them like it's a normal everyday thing. So I think we're all desensitized to it. The actors, when they first come in and they're put into these traps, they're all gung-ho and excited about it. Betsy might agree with this, and Constance, you might agree with this. But 3 or 4 hours into the day, they just hate our guts because they're covered in blood usually and sweaty, and they want to be out of it. And we keep just calming them down and talking them through it. So by the end of it, we're almost like therapists for them because it's a long day to be strapped into that device, and you know it's not comfortable.
I would know, but I think the other one they're extremely upset by the end of the day when all of you.
But they're excited at the beginning, right? It's fun.
Well, yeah, the actors are like, yeah, I'm going to get a trap. And we're like, no, just calm down. Get excited by the
The gentleman who asked the question in the audience, what's your favorite trap? Sorry to put you on the spot.
I don't know. There's a part of me that likes the old bear trap from the first one. The headgear bear trap really got me when I first saw the trailer for the first one. So yeah, that's
Peter Strong's water box, because
The water box.
he actually was in water, like he could have drowned. If like I was watching behind the scenes, like, why the fuck would you do that to him? And then like isn't there an easier way? I was just like,
That was actually traumatic to watch because he actually was in a very vulnerable position. That was a very,
and he still had to
dare I say,
act.
unsafe trap.
I don't think there was a lot of acting. There was some acting there. It was scary.
Yeah, we were all standing by, but it was hard to watch. I know I couldn't do that because he really, I mean, yeah. No,
I would do it for an actor credit, but
Yeah.
like I wouldn't. Like, that's crazy.
We're saving you for the penis trap.
I want in on the
But I guess it's true, the trap looked great and really convincing. The actors do a great job of making them seem convincing, but there must be safety concerns that you have to be able to get them out at a moment's notice. And is that really constricting as you're designing them?
It's certainly a concern. The water trap in Saw 5, we built that cube and it had a safety latch on the front of it, and our actor had a spot that he knew, and all he had to do was just touch it with his finger, and the whole front opened and all the water spilled out. So yeah, whenever we have something like that, we always, safety is always a big concern. When we did the pendulum trap, the actor lying on that table was actually partially down into the table with a prosthetic piece as his lower torso. And when the blade came down, we built in a steel piece underneath the prosthetic, so in case something did go wrong, it would hit steel, it wouldn't go down
And that was a prosthetic piece, not a prosthetic penis. Just so
piece.
I want to talk about characters for a sec with Costas and Betsy. Obviously, both of your characters have become really the two centerpieces of the franchise, obviously in addition to John Kramer, Jigsaw now. Costa, the end of 6 sees your character, half of his face has basically been torn off, compliments of Gerald.
One day with me.
One day with you. But can you talk a bit about how your character has progressed and where we might see him go in the future?
Well, you know, when I first joined the cast, I just didn't want to get in its way because it was so successful and wonderful and all that stuff. And slowly, I got to develop the character. I got lucky. Things progressed, and all I can say is in 7, because of what the lovely Betsy did to me, I kind of lose my way and lose my mind a little bit. So I get to, you know, explode and be reckless, which is fun for an actor.
Well, we're very much already seeing your character tinkering and kind of bastardizing the modus operandi that John Kramer had. Will that continue? Will it continue to kind of go off path?
I think that without giving too much away, I kind of lose my way. There's not much philosophy left in me.
Right.
I like bad boys. So I love my character, you know, and you're definitely gonna, I always say this, but you're gonna find out even more about me in this movie, for sure. And you're gonna see me a lot more clearly, which is kind of scary.
We've learned a lot about your character, both in real time but also through flashbacks. So has some of her history surprised you as you've gone and filmed these films?
Nothing surprises me with Saw.
Nothing shocking.
No, it all makes me very happy. I really do love this character. I think she's pretty incredible, you know. And as I said before, I wish I could be more like her. Stand by her man type of gal, even though he's a little nuts.
She's pretty strong, yeah, with some nuts thrown in there. Yeah. Any audience questions right now? Yes, sir.
I want to ask you guys about, like, how do you feel as a series, like, how that you contributed to a new subgenre of torture porn, or at least revitalized the horror genre? And in relation to that, I mean, like, do you see yourselves as, no pun intended, but being on the cutting edge of, like, you know, marketability, or how far can you push the limits on gore? Or do you just, like, a degree of, like, I don't know how to say this exactly, but I mean, and on a creative level, like on an artistic level, that as a film, that you can make the best quality film that you can. What I'm trying to say is, like, are you trying to, like, how do you guys feel about that? I'm sure how to articulate it right now, but.
I think you got it, yeah.
You know, we're trying to go down in history as one of the best horror franchises.
They should have compliment.
You know what? My son's 17, and his cousin is at USC, and they've been doing some classes where they're actually studying the Saw movies, and I think we really have pushed the envelope. I knew that would happen. I just didn't know it would happen so soon. I thought it would take a little bit of time for people to kind of step back and say, "Shoot, I know we made fun of those movies, but hey, we kind of miss them." Or like, let's take a look. Let's relive, you know, one through whatever. And let's really check out how they made these movies one at a time, you know, once a year for all these years, and really a small budget in the beginning. And they look good, and they're weird and different, and I think the fans are amazing, and I really think that the message is a good one. So, different than a lot of the other horror movies out there, I think the message is pretty awesome, and it's like, can you appreciate your life or be chopped up?
So you're telling me I could have, though, taken Saw 101 as opposed to English Lit?
I would say if you can't now, you probably will be able to in the future.
Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts on the legacy of Saw in terms of the horror idiom kind of writ large?
Horror in general is always a great venue for social commentary. And what I find with the Saw films is each one, we try to have an underlying theme. If you look at the struggle about what each character, the main character of the film, struggles with their own inner demons and trying to come to terms with something that they've done that is, you know, not right or not appreciating what they have. So each film, as a standalone film, has that kind of character development, and that's something to be proud of. Sometimes, yeah, we go a little far when it comes to the gore, and you know, but some of that is really about entertaining the crowd. You come to the theater for a big movie, and you know, at Halloween, people want to have it go big or go home. So we try to provide that within the context of a story that hopefully will move the audience to think about what would you do in that situation. And I think that's what Saw does for people that a lot of the other films don't. It's not a bunch of teenagers running around a summer camp or anything. It's about normal people who get suddenly stuck in this horrible situation. And I think most people can put themselves into that situation and say, oh my God, what would I do if that happened to me? So I think that's kind of what keeps people interested. And for sure, we end up with the most amazing casts. So that's every year.